We're live.
Yes, we are. Hey, happy live, everybody.
Happy live, everybody. So, let's share all the things.
Let's share all the things.
And I'll talk nonsense for a few minutes.
Yay, nonsense for a few minutes.
Yay. Hopefully somebody will come on and talk nonsense with me.
I'm wearing my Real Salt shirt.
You can't really see it. Here, I'm gonna pull it up. Real
It
salt.
says keto is better with real salt.
Yeah, I got bacon grease on mine, so it's spotted.
It's keto is better with real salt and bacon grease.
Bacon grease on it. That was the same day that I burnt my arm, which is finally, oh, you can't even see it. It's finally looking like the burn it was the first day that it happened.
Blaine says it's his favorite time of the week.
Yeah, Blaine. Thanks for coming and talking nonsense with me. Hi, Cindy. How are you doing? Let's see. Today was Tuesday. I mean, it still is Tuesday.
For a couple more hours.
A couple more hours. I'm ready to go to bed, though. I'm kind of tired.
Yeah, me too.
Let's see. In the Keto Chow world. Keto Chow. I didn't have any Keto Chow for the last 2 days, but 3 of our kids had Keto Chow today. May have been
Well,
more.
let's see.
I think they had breakfast and dinner. 2 of them did.
Well, yeah. So Max had it for breakfast. So did
Hey,
Ruth
Carla.
have it for breakfast. Everybody was stealing my keto chow today,
Yeah.
but that's why I made a bunch of extra.
Because you're nice. Carla asked if we recovered from last weekend. I think
Mostly.
for the most part. My sleep score on my
The ring.
Aura ring is looking better. Chris's is not so much. I just need to shut his brain off somehow, but it doesn't do what it's told.
Yeah, mine still pretty
Yeah,
much
his
sucks.
says like 41 or something. Hi, Lori. How are you? So, yeah, but we've recovered. I need to write thank you notes to the volunteers. That's the last thing I need to do. We send out feedback emails yesterday, so hopefully we can get some good feedback so we can improve for next year. The dates we have for next year are April 17th and 18th, 2020. We went and looked at the new venue, and it's bigger. It doesn't have, the vendor space is about the same. It's not super great, but it's all right.
Mm-hmm.
Do I want to know what an Aura ring is? Yes, you do. They're really cool fitness tracker things.
Depends on how much available capital you have.
Yeah, they're kind of expensive, but
O-U-R-A.
O-U-R-A, yes.
It's basically a Fitbit that goes on your finger.
Yeah,
Would
but
be the
like the
easiest way to
Fitbit,
know.
you use, if you go shopping, you don't get any steps because you don't move your arm. And if you carry something, you don't get any steps because you're not moving your arm. But with the Aura ring, you get steps when you have a shopping cart or when you're carrying a box or anything. It's really cool. So I don't feel like I'm gypped on my steps. I do love my Fitbit, though, I have to say. I love being in a competition with my daughter. She kicks my butt every week, but that's because she's a teenager and has energy. Yeah.
Yeah.
She's still preteen. I mean, she's 13, but anyway. So check out the Aura rings because they're really cool. Yes. Thank you, Lori.
Yep.
That's what it is. And I got the manly gunmetal.
She originally got the rose gold one?
Yeah, which is really cute, and they stopped making them, I think, because they had so many problems with them.
Yeah.
But another thing is, you can't really tell from here, but they have 3 little bumps on the inside. Do you want to zoom in real fast? Whoa, get closer. Okay. Oh, wait, down. What?
There we go.
Okay, you can kind of see. They have 3 little bumps on the inside, right there. And so, even though you know it's there, you kind of have to get a bigger size up. So, this is a man size. It's a, what is it, a 9? I think it's a 9.
Yeah, it might be. Okay, now I'm going to zoom out.
That's what it looks like. So, it's not like it's fancy or anything. The old Aura rings were a lot bigger, so it takes up a lot of space on your
Yeah,
hand.
the old ones were
these
like
new
this
ones
huge thing.
Are a lot
Looked
smaller.
like a
so they've
signet
improved.
ring.
And they probably will come out with even a newer one sometime. I don't know. They just barely came out with them, but they're. Are they in back order or something? They're taking
Well, the
a
problem
long
is
time
they're
to
coming
get 'em.
from like.
Norway.
Yeah, it's something like that, or Denmark.
Yeah, or the
something.
Netherlands. Some country that starts with an N.
It's coming from Europe.
electric. Doo-doo-doo.
Yeah. So I'm almost
Hi,
done.
Wendy. How
I just
are
have
you?
to share one more.
Did she say boring? We're too boring.
Oh, it's got pseudo-scientific magnetic force field snake oil.
Yeah.
Or it's not. Yeah.
Yeah.
They are not that. And so they actually do, yeah, it's not, yeah. It's just a tracker that works really well.
Yeah, we like it. So anyway, we will talk about some things that are about Keto Chow in just a second, as soon as Chris is done sharing. Right now we're just talking nonsense.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I had a good day today. A little tired, a little fine.
By the way, the cheeping or whatever you hear,
Chirping?
The chirping is a bunch of baby chicks that well, not so recently. They're actually getting kind of big. They stopped making quite as much noise now that we turned off the
light. They got good
yes.
sleep. It's so cute.
Okay.
The one big baby chick just perches on the thing. My kids cut out. We have them in a cardboard box.
They cut out a little window.
So they cut out a little window, and there's a stick in there that they can perch on. And the one baby chick just sits on the stick and sleeps. It's so cute.
Future McNuggets. No, future omelets.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yummy.
Okay.
Okay, now we can talk about
I'm here
stuff.
now. I've been a little bit out of it. Actually, I've been a little out of it this past week. 2 weeks. When was Keto Salt Lake? Was it a week? It was a weekend a couple days ago. We've had an entire week.
We had a weekend after.
Yep. So most of last week I spent editing the videos that were recorded with this camera at Keto Salt Lake. There were actually 2 cameras. It was a big production. Anyway, I got all those edited together. I got the final one posted yesterday. So I don't even know what I'm going to do with all my time now.
Yeah, you're not going to stress about it anymore.
Not as much. So those are all posted.
So go on our YouTube channel and check out those talks because they're fantastic.
Yep.
The audio's good because you put the right audio in now.
Yeah, I had a audio recorder plugged right into the soundboard.
Yep. So we were able to edit that in at the end so that the live stream was just so you could catch it if you could.
Yep.
But the videos are what you want to see, and they're fantastic information from a lot of cool keto speakers.
Yep. Could you do me a big favor really quick? Could you go downstairs and tell Sam to stop watching Netflix because he's killing our bandwidth?
Sure.
Thank you.
Excuse me, guys.
So, anyhow, also, Sam probably forgot he's grounded from the TV right now.
Whoops.
So, yeehaw!
He'll probably come up on the thing with us.
Maybe. Let's see. Yeah, we're using this webcaster thing, and it shows people's comments and stuff like that. Like Lori says, I miss your Instagram TV updates. The ones that I was posting every day. Anyway, so it shows that, but it also shows right now at the bottom, insufficient network bandwidth. Video bitrate changed to 2,743 kilobits, targets 8,000. That's simply because Sam's watching Netflix downstairs, and it should be fine, but for whatever reason, the upload is getting killed. So, plus he's grounded from the TV. He was supposed to have his room clean. Anyway, so I did get all the videos edited. Please check them out. They're super awesome. We got a lot of really good ones. I worked really hard to get Nurse Cindy's put up there. Hi, Christine. Also to get Dr. Barry's and Drew Manning's presentation was full of all kinds of fun. There were some pretty severe technical difficulties in the middle of it. Well, actually, rather in the beginning. Blaine wants to know why I don't have quality of service turned on. I've had too many problems with QoS causing issues. Easy.
Yep.
Sorry. Or block Netflix for an hour. Yeah, that would work too.
It's okay. I just told him he can't be on the TV, so
Yep.
he's gonna play Legos.
He has a hard time with disappointment. Okay.
Yeah, it's sad.
All right. So, chocolate toffee's on sale.
Yes, chocolate toffee's yummy. And
Chocolate
I like to mix
toffee's
it with butter.
fantastic.
It's so good.
Yeah.
It's so good with butter. So when you mix it with butter, do you care?
We're going to get to that in a bit, but you can do it right now.
Okay, when you mix it with butter, you melt the butter first, and then you mix it with warm water, and the acacia gum will emulsify it. So
yeah, the
it'll
fiber that we're using.
stay in suspension. Is that the right thing?
Mm-hmm.
I was so surprised that it did that, and it's so
Oh,
awesome.
I totally was not expecting it
I
to
thought
work.
it was going to separate, and it does. Like the chocolate separates a little bit, but it's
Well,
not like
that's
a
just
big
the-
old chunk of
That's the cocoa.
butter. It's crazy.
The chocolate will separate even if you use heavy cream. All you have to do is heat up the chocolate, and it'll cause the cocoa powder to separate out. It doesn't hold it in suspension anymore once it's been heated. Well, I don't know why. It just does.
But yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, and with the chocolate toffee,
Toffee?
the chocolate toffee,
Toffee?
chocolate toffee, there isn't any separation at all, no matter what you do.
It's so delicious.
It's amazing.
I want to have that for lunch.
So,
Hi, James.
so yeah, chocolate toffee's on sale. So it's 10% off. And I got a user interface bug fixed on our website. You're welcome. It used to be if people would pull up, you would pull up the page, you'd go to order, and it would already show the discounted price. The problem is it wouldn't show the old price with a line through it telling you that it was on sale. So you were getting the sale price, you just didn't know that that was the sale price. So I kept on getting people, isn't this supposed to be 10% off? Yeah, it is 10% off. It's already showing the discounted price. No, it's not. Well, it is, but you have to click on one and then click on the one that's on sale.
Oh.
So
So you fixed that?
I got it fixed.
Yay.
So
Great.
hooray for UI UX. Okay. Our commercial came out
Yeah.
last
Came
week.
out last week.
Well, the week before last.
Yeah. So it was Tuesday. Came out on Tuesday.
Oh yeah. No, so it was
So
last
it's been
week.
1 week.
Well, we released it on Tuesday.
Had technical problems. Had more technical problems on Wednesday.
So many technical problems.
We've had a high stress couple of weeks.
I've been having a lot of fun with
Trade
technical
show
issues.
and then videos.
Yeah, we did it. So we did Keto Salt Lake,
It's just
and then
ridiculous.
this last weekend, so Saturday and Sunday, we had another conference. It was the new Nourished Expo.
Yeah.
Started out as the gluten-free expo. It was a local one. We're like,
So you wanna
okay,
come
sure,
sit
we'll
with
do it.
us?
Strangely enough, we actually sold more product at the Nourished Expo, which only had like 1,300 attendees.
Yeah.
Then we did it FitCon, which had like
lots.
way more, like
Yeah,
10 times as
it
many
was funny.
attendees. So, funny stuff. Anyway, so
So
yes,
yeah, if you haven't seen our commercial, go to Facebook and find it,
Yep.
and it's really funny.
check it
But
out.
I'm sure you probably already have because that's
Yep.
why you're here. Yeah, it's really funny.
Yep. And as Blaine knows, the Michelle Obama thing has nothing to do with politics.
We're just being silly.
It has to do with a meme on the internet with people getting crappy lunch at school with a hashtag thanks Michelle Obama because of some anyway. I won't get into it. Yeah,
We
we're-
shouldn't have even talked about
I don't even know why I brought it up. Moving on. We've got a bunch of keto conferences coming up.
it. Yeah.
So if you are new to keto and you didn't know that were such things,
Or such things.
there being
There
such
are
things
such
are
As conferences
Yes.
that are about keto.
just about keto. There's actually a list. There's an entire website about them. It's lowcarbevents.com. I set it up because I got tired of trying to keep track of all of them. So you can find out about the Minnesota Adapt Your Life event that's coming up. I added that today. You can find
Thanks,
out about
Chris Long.
thanks Chris Long. You can find out about Keto Con, which will be in Austin, Texas. You
And
can,
there's barbecue there.
there is barbecue there. You can find out about Keto Fest. It's in Connecticut. You can find out
There's
about
lobster there.
the low carb cruise, which there might still be some spots open. That's at the beginning of June.
Yeah, we're gonna go. It's gonna be fun. Ken Berry's gonna be there.
You've got ones down in Miami. You've got one that just happened in Seattle last week. You've got, well, there was one in Salt Lake. We ran it.
Yeah.
There will be one next year. So, was there a proportionate ratio of vendor attendees that would account for the difference in sales? No, I think it had to do with the fact that it was so freaking loud. But
Oh, at FitCon?
no, at FitCon versus the other one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure what.
Well,
I don't know.
And people that are gluten-free already are kind of, thinking keto's a good idea because they know a keto option will work for them. And so they are open to it, I think.
Yep.
Because it's going to be something they can use and a lot of things they can't. So I think that helped.
When we had, oh my gosh, I wasn't even there yet because we were getting there a little bit late, but one lady showed up and she has this special needs. No, was it 2 special needs or 3 special needs kids? I think it was 2. She had, I think it was 2 special needs kids that don't really eat much of anything. They hate everything, and they have all these health issues. They can't do gluten. They can't do all this stuff. And so our friend Steve was telling them about all the stuff, all about Keto Chow, and the special needs kids who are in wheelchairs tried it and absolutely loved it.
Really?
Like,
I didn't
absolutely loved it. Oh,
awesome.
actually, you did. You'll recognize it in a second. And so the lady's like, I'm going to buy some of this. In fact, I'm going to buy a lot of it. She actually had to call her bank because her bank flagged the charges, because there were 3, as potentially fraudulent. Because there were 3 high-value charges in rapid succession for something the bank had never seen her buy anything from before.
Yeah, well, that's smart. Thanks, bank.
She ended up leaving with 3 full bags.
That's awesome.
Anyway.
Well, I hope it helps her kids.
Oh yeah.
Great.
If it can help them out, that's totally worth it right there. That's worth going to it. So, anyway. Yeah, there's a bunch of different conferences. Yes, there is a conference in Austin. You've got all different conferences all over the country. So check it out, lowcarbevents.com. Yeah. Now, we get into the meat of all this. Since we launched the commercial, we've had a lot of new people that have never heard of Keto Chow, that are getting Keto Chow and have a lot of questions. So we wanted to go over, now for some of you this may be a repeat, sorry, and for others maybe it'll teach you something new. But, so we wanted to explain, for instance, okay, Miriam, what's Keto Chow?
Keto Chow is a nutritionally complete meal replacement shake for the ketogenic diet.
Yep.
It's not just a protein shake, it's a complete meal.
That's
and
right.
You don't have to have it for every meal.
Yep.
You don't have to have it for every
meal. You can have it for breakfast.
Emily said hi, Sammy.
Say hi, Emily. Where's your hand?
Yeah, there it is. So you can have it for breakfast, you can have it for lunch. It's not just a snack. And that's a lot of people have been asking questions on the
Facebook support group.
Well, not on the Facebook support, on the ad saying that's really expensive for a protein shake. It's like, if it was just a protein shake, it would be expensive. This is a meal.
Yep. And it's not meant to replace your steak, your eggs, your prime rib, all the most delicious things. It's not supposed to take away time with your family or anything like that. It's supposed to be for when you're on the run, when you need to run to the grocery store, you're not prepared to fast, you're hungry, you want to get nutrition. So you make a few, stick them in your fridge, grab it when you're on the go. So that's what it's for.
Like today, the kids, we were getting stuff ready for the live. Yep. We didn't make any dinner. It was kind of a fend for yourself, eat leftovers.
Yep.
2 of the kids said, "Can I have Keto Chow for dinner?" I'm like, that's why I made them.
Sam had pulled pork, and
hey, there you go.
2 of the kids had Keto Chow, and I think 3 of them will eat when they get home.
Yep.
That's okay.
Now, how do you mix it?
It's really easy to mix. You want to get a blender bottle real quick?
Well, we've got a video that shows them. You can just explain it.
Yeah. Okay, so we can... Are you going to say something, Sammy?
Yeah, I'm gonna take keto.
Well, you just had pulled
You
pork.
just had pulled
Yeah,
pork.
that's the hot.
Why don't you just take a keto chow and put a tiny bit in a cup, and then put it back in the
Yes, there
fridge.
you go.
So, anyway, you mix it by putting the fat in. So
Yep.
with a blender bottle, so you have a blender bottle.
Or you can use a blender, but the easiest. Oh my gosh, my nose is itchy. So the easiest way is with the blender bottle, right? If you're just trying it out.
Yep.
Okay.
You put the fat in, and you go on the site. You find out how much fat to use for your body weight and what you're trying to accomplish. I know it's kind of a pain in the butt that you have to figure it out, but there's also a card that we put into
Yep.
your order that has.
It's a cheat sheet.
It's a cheat sheet, and it has calories on the top. So you say, okay, well, I'm aiming for 1,400 calories. This is how much heavy cream I want to put in, or avocado oil, or mix them together and put it in. So you put the fat in, then you put a scoop of keto chow, and then immediately after you put water in, up to 14 ounces, or 14 ounces of water, which is up to 20 ounces in the blender bottle. And then you just shake the heck out of it, because if you don't shake it right away after you put the water in, it will clump. You've got to shake it really good, and then you'll have your keto chow. And then you put it in your fridge, and just whenever you need it, take it.
Yep. Now you talked about adding the fat, right? That's one of the most popular questions that we get is, what do you mean by fat of your choice?
That's it. You choose. So
Hey.
we've recently been
Oh my
playing
gosh,
with
my nose
butter.
is so itchy.
Do I need to scratch your nose for you?
I've got a hair
Now my nose is
sticking
itchy.
out that keeps on, or it's probably one of my
I can't even
mustache.
see- Oh, it is your mustache. Let me just. Mom spit. I need.
Oh my
Sam's
God.
showing some heavy cream right there.
There it is.
I don't know where.
That was delightful.
Okay, there's some heavy cream. Here is an example of some fat. Heavy
Yep.
cream is what we recommend. Can you put that back though?
Okay.
But we've been playing with butter, and you melt the butter, and you put it in just like you would the heavy cream. Shake it up, and you'd use warm water. I already said this.
Yeah, you
But
did.
you'll use warm water, because if you put cold water and melted butter together, it'll make the
Solidify.
butter cold.
Yep.
So use warm water, not hot water. If you use hot water or heat up your keto chow too hot, it will make some of the vitamins not as great.
Yeah, if you heat it up, well, it can destroy some of the vitamins, but it'll also, Sam, you can't be hanging out
you're
behind
in
this.
or out,
It's
buddy.
distracting, okay? Sorry, buddy. It's difficult to talk when you're doing that.
He's just showing us his keto chow.
Yep. Okay, so if you heat it up too much, if you use like boiling hot water, it'll actually cause the protein to curdle, among other things, so you get kind of chunks in there.
And you don't want that.
It's not delicious.
And it's really good. Heat it up. Just don't heat it up really, really hot, like to boiling.
Yeah, and once you've
So-
mixed it, heating it up quite
Like
a
in the
bit,
microwave.
not
It's totally fine.
that big of a deal.
So,
So yeah, Travis just said he got his first order today.
yay! Hi, Travis. Welcome to Keto Chow
Sweet.
family.
Warm is so subjective.
Yes, warm is just meaning not room temperature,
Yeah.
not hot.
So warm enough to keep. No, when we're talking
keep
about
the
butter.
from getting cold.
Yeah,
That's
so
what we
warmer
need
than the melting point of butter.
There you go.
So,
So
and you
not
can do,
hot, not hot enough to burn your hand.
yeah, and it doesn't,
It doesn't have to be that warm. It just can't be cold. Like you wouldn't want to take fridge water that's cold and put it in there, because it'll just make the butter hard.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. And we have a video on the chicken soup page. Do you want to link that right here?
I think that Lori just did.
Oh, awesome. Anyway, there's a mixing video with the butter, and we're willing to, and hoping that other people want to try other fats. We've tried coconut oil. Chris has tried a bunch of other PUFAs, which we do
Polyunsaturated
not
fats.
recommend.
Now that would be things like soybean oil, canola oil, sunflower
Grapeseed
oil, any of the seed oils
Yeah.
or vegetable
We
oils.
don't recommend any of
No.
those because they're not good for you. So
Yep. Okay, so we have a couple of questions. So Gina wanted to know, how does the butter not separate and harden in the fridge after mixing? And that's a really good question.
it's magic.
It's it's absolutely magic. Sam, is the refrigerator open? Thank you. So we're using, it's the dryer or washers done.
Yeah.
The fiber that we're using in Keto Chow has a bunch of really cool effects. But one of the things it does is it helps fat mix with water.
It's called acacia gum.
Yep, acacia gum or gum acacia or gum arabic. So you use warm water and you use melted butter or coconut oil if you want to do hard fats. In theory, I guess if you really wanted to, you probably could use bacon grease with chocolate or something, but that doesn't sound really good.
No.
You could.
We have used it with
the savory
soup.
chicken soup.
The bacon grease is good.
Mm-hmm. That one's really good. So you've got the warm water, you've got the melted fat in this case, and you mix it up with a blender. Now you can use a stick blender or an immersion blender, or you can use a regular blender, but it has to be the ones that aren't like sealed if you're using hot water. But once again, we don't recommend hot water, just warm water.
Yep.
And when it mixes up, there's magic in there, and it makes it so
It's so cool.
Yeah, it makes it so that it doesn't separate out. You don't get little globules. Even when you put it in the fridge and let it chill overnight, it still doesn't separate. It's really cool, which allows you to mix up a bunch at the same time, pour them into blender bottles, stick them in the fridge, and when you're ready to consume them, heat them up.
And speaking of sticking them in the fridge, they will stay good for up to 6 days in the fridge. So we will do it a lot of times on Sunday night. At the end of the day, we'll just make a bunch, throw them in the fridge, and then whenever we would decide we want them, we'll take them.
Yep. And that's how long they last with heavy cream.
Yeah, so it'll probably last longer with butter.
Yeah, butter or avocado oil. And I think we didn't finish talking about which fats are best.
Oh, sorry.
So you've got heavy cream is kind of the easy one. That's what most people start
liquid.
with.
And it's creamy. It's
Yep.
yummy. It has 3 carbs.
Avocado oil is also a really good one. You can replace some, emphasis on the some, maybe a tablespoon of oil with MCT oil if you really want to.
So a lot of people ask about that. Yeah. I wouldn't recommend doing the whole thing MCT oil, or you will not be happy.
It's bad. It also, so in my experience, you don't need to use MCT oil unless you need higher level of ketones for a specific reason. Mm-hmm. If you're not sure that you need MCT oil, you probably
don't need it. Yeah.
Okay. So you've got a little bit of MCT oil.
If you want to.
If you want to.
Yeah.
Now you can also use butter, which is amazing. It tastes fantastic.
So good.
The fatty acid profile is amazing.
So good.
The number one takeaway.
You could use ghee too.
You could.
There's
So
less water in it.
for any of you that are new, from January 2nd until April 11th, the only food I consumed the entire time was Keto Chow. It was my 100 days of Keto Chow. Krista has a question. We'll get to you in just a second. That's a good question, by the way. Anyway, I was doing this test just to prove that you could do only Keto Chow for all your meals. Mm-hmm. And along with that, I wanted to test out to see what different types of fat did to different people. Or different me. What different types of fat did to my blood work,
Which
to my
we've done
cholesterol.
this a few times, so.
Yeah, but this time I wanted to get really deep into it. And I also wanted to try out butter. So I tested a bunch of different things, and I was floored to learn that butter worked as well as it did. Yeah. Absolutely amazing.
Well, I was just ready to see the separation in the morning.
I was expecting to have to mix up one at a time.
We've done it hot with butter a lot of times before, like this winter we've done it quite a few times.
Anyway. Okay. Sorry, my nose is itching.
I got that mustache hair out of your way. Anyway. We tried it with butter hot in the microwave. We just make it that day, heat it up.
We're using like boiling hot water, and it doesn't work very well. It doesn't work as well as just warm water.
But this time we tried it and stuck it in the fridge to see if it would work like the rest of the stuff, and it was so amazing.
Yep.
So can we get that other question real quick?
Almost. Okay. So you've got butter. You can use salted or unsalted butter. Can you use grass-fed butter? You can. Do you have to use grass-fed butter?
No.
No. As far as I can tell so far, there's very little difference in the fatty acid profile of grass-fed versus regular butter.
Your opinion is your opinion.
Yeah.
And you can have the butter you want.
If you prefer the flavor of, like, what's it called? Kerrygold?
Yeah.
Go for it.
Kerrygold.
If you can afford it, great. If you can only afford the super cheap, regular
butter.
Walmart butter, go for it. Don't use margarine, please don't. Okay? Now, you can also use coconut oil, and that was a really surprising thing to me as well. I tried that this last weekend. Amy Berger was asking about whether or not coconut oil would work the same way that butter does.
So now we need to do a test, and then
no.
you do a blood test with coconut oil.
That'll be really
I want to
interesting.
get vanilla, put coconut oil in it, and some pineapple OOO flavoring, and get myself a pina colada.
Do you like pina colada?
Yes, I do.
What about getting caught in the rain?
Uh-huh.
Okay. So, now, what was their name? Kristen asked, can you use avocados?
Actual avocado?
Yes.
You sure can.
So, we have a frequently asked question page. It's,
Sounds
what can I use instead of heavy cream to make Keto Chow because I'm lactose intolerant? It has a couple of suggestions like coconut cream.
Oh yeah, people use that too, coconut cream.
There's actually a suggestion of somebody using a half of a coconut. Not coconut, oh my gosh. A half of an avocado for the fat source.
Half of a coconut.
Yeah, so, but in order to do that, you
that.
have to use a blender. So, let's see. Yes, the dryer is done. Let's see, Blaine says, cool fact, by the end of the month, I think I'll have consumed 500 consecutive Keto Chow meals.
Wow.
Jeez, Blaine, you're showing me up, man.
Why do you have to be so cool?
Yeah. James wants to know, do you get better flavor with coconut oil?
It depends on what you're going for. It tastes like coconut.
It
so
does
if you
taste like coconut.
Then yeah. But butter has its own flavor. That's what's so cool. Like you can add whatever you want and just play with it, and you're like feeling like a creamy day. Heavy cream's good. You feeling buttery?
Did you say hi to Christy?
Hi, Christy. I did. While
Okay.
you were talking.
Sorry. I was trying not to be distracted by Sam. By the way, Emily says happy belated anniversary.
Yeah. 19 years yesterday.
19 years. Okay, now Sabrina wants to know how many servings of electrolyte drops should you add to a 2-liter bottle of water? That's a good question. It all depends on how...
you need it. So what's the recommended dosage
Okay,
for that much?
the recommended dosage is how much you add and not really be able to taste it. I usually put in 2 to 3 times, sometimes 4 or 5 times the recommended dosage. So the recommended dosage is a capful per liter.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you do 2 capfuls for 2 liters.
Yep.
But you're keto, and you may need more than that. So we kind of just do it to taste.
Yeah.
If you can taste it and it tastes good, you may need a little bit more. You may have your body telling you need that salt. But you can always start out with the recommended dosage, and then
Yep.
if you have a headache or a leg cramp, have more.
Yeah, and like we were talking about, I'll usually get a 16 ounce, 500 milliliter bottle. Put in a capful, which is double the recommended dose.
Yeah,
Taste
half
it,
a cap would be 60.
And depending on how low I am in electrolytes, my body will either say, that tastes good, give me more of that, or it'll say, that's kind of salty. So if it's kind of salty, I'm like, oh, okay, that's probably enough.
Probably enough, yeah.
If it says, I want more of that, I want that. I'll put in another capful, and I'll taste it again. And if I still want more, I mean, I've put in 5 capfuls before because I had a crazy bad headache, and that's just what I did.
And it really works. Like, it's so cool.
Yep. Dang it, for a second there I thought you had pigtails, and I got really excited.
You just pretend.
Okay. Let's see. Blah, blah, blah. Okay. I'm just trying to catch up with all the questions. So Belinda got her first order, a few sample packs. She's looking forward to drinking them tomorrow. Now, okay, so about mixing. Do you have to let them sit overnight?
No, but you can.
But you can. I think it tastes better.
I think so too. But it still tastes good. the day of. In fact, we talked about this a long time ago. I haven't talked about it recently. You can mix it with ice if you want, especially in the summertime. And you don't have time to make it the night before. You're running out of time and you want to do it. Throw it in the blender with some ice instead of the water, and a little bit of water, and it's yummy.
Yep. So
and it's hot. When it's hot, it's nice to have that.
Yep. So it for the first like 10 or 15 minutes after you mix it up, it's a bit gritty. There's a kind of a powdery texture to it, and that's just because all the stuff hasn't fully dissolved. That goes away, and the flavor improves. After overnight, it's really good. After 2 or 3 days, it's insane. So
it's really good. It improves upon time.
That's right. Emily says she tries to only use Kerrygold when making loaded broccoli.
That sounds delicious.
For those of you who are new to keto, by the way, when you go to a steakhouse, because you always know that a steakhouse is safe.
Steakhouse is a good place to go.
And they ask you what side you want. If you are doing vegetables and stuff like that, like broccoli, tell them that you want broccoli with cheese and butter and bacon and sour cream, and they'll be like, so a loaded baked potato?
No potato? Yeah.
Like,
but if you ask them for a loaded potato with no potato, they're like, what?
Yeah, they're like, whoa. Anyway, you can make them at your house. It's a lot cheaper.
Yeah.
Blaine.
Oh, yeah, we do that when we go out. We should go out.
We should. Blaine, oh yeah, because it was our anniversary.
Yeah.
Blaine said to Teresa, "You'll love it. Welcome to the cult."
Oh, we're not a cult. We're a family.
That's right. Emily said we tried coconut cream for a while.
Look at all those hearts.
Garrett said, which flavor was the hardest to get right, to get correct? That would be the chocolate mint. The chocolate mint was
is so good. How come I don't remember that?
You should, because first it came.
I'm super picky about it.
Well, so chocolate mint, it was okay, but it wasn't very strong.
We didn't want it to be too chocolatey or too minty.
But it wasn't either. It wasn't chocolatey or minty. Bleh. And so we had to add more chocolate. We had to add more mint. There's actually a bit of menthol extract in there to just give it a bite. And the idea that we were going for was to get thin mints.
Yeah.
Thin mints is what I was going for.
I could have chocolate mint every day.
Yep.
I think
that was the hardest to get
actually.
right. But Emily usually uses avocado oil, and Blaine said that he forgot the 3 per day multiplier. He's coming up on 500 days of only Keto Chow.
Wow.
So that's 1,500.
Crazy
meals.
man. Good for him.
You're a maniac.
He's living. Hey, Blaine, while you're at it, will you try coconut oil and get some blood tests? Tell us how it goes. I want a pina colada.
Nancy says, seems like Keto Chow would be good for food storage. What's the shelf life on
totally.
an open package?
Yeah, 1.5 years. 2
So
years.
there's a expiration date printed on the bottom, on the back.
But even after that, the minerals will start to.
Well, it's the vitamins.
The vitamins, yeah.
What happens? The reason why there's that expiration date is some of the vitamins start to oxidize after a certain amount of time.
Yeah, but that just means there's less of those vitamins in there. It's still going to be good for you.
So, where that would come into play is if you were a crazy person who wanted to do it 3 meals a day. If you were using
I've done it also, just so you know.
Yeah. If you were doing if you were doing it 3 meals a day for all of your food, you would probably not want to use one that's past the expiration date, just because you'd be low on a bunch of the B vitamins.
Vitamin A, vitamin B.
Not vitamin A. It's B, K. Anyway, I think C. Because those ones start to oxidize.
Questions about the vitamins, like you look at the Keto Chow label and it has all these weird words you don't know. Google it and it'll say vitamin K.
Yeah, and I actually put like methylquinine or whatever is. I think that's. Oh, dang it.
No, you're not right.
I think that's D3. Dang it. But yeah, I put on the label what it is after the big long word. Mm-hmm. And the funny thing is, people all the time are like, those are chemicals. It's like, so's water. All of the vitamins that our bodies are made out of are chemicals. They're just fancy names. They're the specific names. So, anyway.
Ooh, Sabrina likes pumpkin spice.
Yeah, it's because she's a basic white girl.
Basic white girl.
Okay. Anyway, so you could indeed absolutely use Keto Chow as kind of a food storage, I guess you could say. You'd probably want a couple. Hey Sam, can you stop playing with those for a bit? They're making a lot of noise. You need some probably avocado oil so that you would have something to mix it with because you need the fat.
Yeah, but you can store avocado oil.
You absolutely can.
In food storage.
You do need water though. You need
you
the
need
powder.
Water too.
You need water and you need the fat. So.
But that's a great idea. And then canned meat. Like I was thinking about keto because we got rid of so much of our food storage because we don't eat it.
Yeah, well, we would buy cans of stuff just when it was on sale, on case lot sales.
And then we have all this food that we don't ever eat. So what's the point?
Yeah, and like the Boy Scouts were doing a food drive, and they were coming around collecting cans. And I went down there to look through the cans, and I'm like, this expired 3 years ago. What the heck?
We don't eat that stuff.
Yeah, we don't eat the stuff out of cans very much anymore, just because. Yeah. Anyway.
But canned meat. We got to get some canned meat for our food storage.
All right.
And Keto Chow.
So we're talking about mixing.
Yes.
So we talked about which fats. What about how much fat to use?
Okay, your cheat sheet will tell you how much fat to use.
Or
there's a keto calculator on our website, on our preparation page,
Yep.
that you can really dial it into what you need. And then another thing is a lot of people are like, well, I don't know how many calories I'm supposed to have. This is what I tell them. Go get a DEXA body scan, and they'll tell you your resting metabolic rate. And then you kind of need to, I guess, estimate, figure out how many calories you're actually burning a day.
Well, a DEXA scan isn't the only way to get that. So a DEXA scan will give you a body composition, and using that, they'll tell you what your resting metabolic rate is, which is fantastic. And a DEXA scan in and of itself is also really cool.
It's so cool.
A more accurate way to get your resting metabolic rate is actually they strap this mask on your face, and for 5 minutes, they keep track of every molecule of carbon dioxide you exhale. Or rather, how many parts per million, and all this blah, blah, blah. Anyway,
apparently.
so it figures out what your actual resting metabolic rate is. The DEXA scan will get you 90% there, and it's cool data anyway.
Yeah.
The face mask thing is like 99%. Or you can use one of the calculators where you type in your height and your weight and age and all that other stuff.
That's cheaper because it's free.
It's a lot cheaper. It's not as accurate, but for just kind of generalization, it works really well.
Does our calculator have that on there?
So if you go to the How to Prepare Keto Chow page, there's a calculator. Look for the big blue button. On that, right by where you type in how many calories you need, there's a link to a calculator that you can figure out. And it says, type in how many calories you need. If you don't know how many that is, go here.
Okay, there you go.
So how much fat you use, it depends on who you are
and what
and
you're
all
trying
that
to
sort of
accomplish.
stuff.
If you're trying to lose weight, you can give yourself a little bit of a deficit of fat because you're going to use whatever fat you take in first before you take fat from here or anywhere else. But I wouldn't do too much of a deficit because you need to switch your body to using fats instead of glucose, and you're going to have to tweak things and play with it.
Well, not only that, if you consume too few calories, so when you're first starting off keto, your body has all of your fat reserves locked up because your insulin is high. In the presence of insulin, it's not going to open up your fat stores. You can eat as low calorie as you want, but if your insulin is too high, it's not going to open up those fat stores, and you're not going to be able to access that. So, at least, especially at the beginning, that's why we usually tell people don't worry too much about your calories at the beginning. Worry about getting your carbohydrates down.
Yeah.
In fact, you might want to overeat
carbs.
a little bit on the calories, just so that you don't have to worry about that. Get over carbs, then work on getting the calories down. And that way, there's enough fat coming in that your cells have all the energy that they need. They're just fine, Insulin starts going lower and lower and lower. It opens up those vaults of the cells. You start accessing the stored energy, and all of a sudden, you're not hungry because you're eating that Krispy Kreme donut you ate a decade ago.
Yep, it's just waiting for you.
And also, if you have too little of, that's an earlier question, it's repeating them. If you have too little of calories, if you go below it about 15% deficit, let's say you need 2,000 calories and you eat too little, your body knows when it's not getting enough calories and your cells aren't getting enough calories, and it'll actually say, oh, is that what we're doing now? Oh, okay. I guess we'll turn off some lights. We'll turn off these metabolic processes. We'll stop growing hair. We'll run the temperature a little bit cooler.
Unnecessary processes.
Yeah, and
because your body's going in starvation mode.
Yeah, it starts shutting things down.
It thinks you're not gonna live, so.
Turns out our bodies are really smart.
They are. They're really smart.
If you don't give them enough fuel and it can't access stored fuel, it's going to turn off stuff to account for that. I could go into it. There was an interesting study where they had a bunch of women who they were in a metabolic ward. So they were controlling everything they were eating and drinking and everything else. And half of them, they exercised, and half of them, they didn't. And they fed them the same amount. And the ones that they exercised, like 300 calories a day, their body's metabolic rate lowered to account for the 300 calories that they were exercising. So the women who were exercising and the women who weren't, that were eating the same amounts, their bodies were burning the same amounts, accounting for the exercise. So your body's smart.
Too little?
Yeah, they were eating too little, and their body's like, well, you're using up all this extra energy exercising, so I'm going to lower my expenditures, my energy expenditures to account for that, because we only have a limited budget.
Yeah.
So my shirt, somebody asked, it says keto is better with real salt. So it's
my
cool.
shirt says nothing.
It says lines. So.
Oh, Nancy asked if we post these on YouTube. Yes, we do. We have a YouTube channel, Keto Chow YouTube channel. We post these, and it's kind of boring listening to us talk to people, but we're welcome. You're welcome to watch them again. We also will have them on Facebook. If you can find them on
so
Facebook.
This live recording that we're doing here will be on Facebook afterwards, and then I take the recording off the camera and I put it up on YouTube, and it's a much higher quality broadcast. So
you can see my wrinkles better.
Yeah. And when I go to stop it, actually, I have my
fancy pants keyboard.
My keyboard's working, so I don't have to give you an iris scan.
I don't know. I think that's kind of fun.
It is kind of fun. So the next thing is, what's the deal with savory chicken soup?
Yum.
Oh, Lori wants to know, are you recording? Yes, I am.
Yes, we're recording.
So what's the deal with savory chicken soup, Miriam?
So we wanted to do a savory flavor, and we just tried the chicken soup out. And you make
That's gross. You mix it up cold?
You make it hot.
That's the number one question we get about savory chicken soup.
But it's really cool. You can use it to cook with, bake with. People use it to make biscuits or crepes, savory crepes. So it's like a tortilla, but it's really, really low in carbs. So you can make enchiladas and make the crepes. So one of our friends, Amanda, has done some recipes for us, and a lot of them are with chicken soup. And also you can use it for a soup base, for a base for lots of different things. In the good old days, bad old days, we used to use cream of chicken soup all the time as a base, and just
for recipes,
for fast stuff. And you can use that, a little bit of heavy cream or butter or bacon fat or lard or tallow or all the good things, and it is yum.
Yep. So you mix it up warm. I'd recommend butter or chicken fat.
Bacon fat.
Bacon fat.
You can use chicken
you
fat
actually
if
can
you
use
want
chicken
to.
fat. Somebody said that they liked half chicken fat, half bacon fat. That was their preferred way of doing it. But
Yes, and then later on this summer, maybe, we'll be coming out with 3 new savory flavors.
Yes, and
which
James
we've been talking
wanted to know about that.
We have tomato soup and
Creamy tomato basil.
Creamy tomato basil. Taco soup, spicy taco soup.
Spicy taco soup.
And a beef base. We like the chicken so much that we're going to do a beef base, but these actually are a little bit different than the chicken. The chicken is a milk protein base, and this is going to be a beef bone broth protein base.
Yeah. It'll actually be dairy free.
Yeah, so
see, bone broth perhaps.
Yeah,
there you go.
That's what we're gonna do, and they're really cool. They're totally different than what we've done before, and you want to make those hot also.
Did you see what Blaine
We're excited
said?
to see what you can come up with those when they're
In the good old days when sugar was fine and fat was bad.
yeah, and we were all heavier than we are now.
Yes.
So. And unhealthier.
Yep.
So
that's the deal with savory chicken soup, and we like she said, we've got the 3 other ones coming out. Mm-hmm. We're still waiting for that.
Yeah, we're waiting on a few ingredients, and one ingredient.
It's the beef. The beef protein.
Come, and it'll be great.
Yep.
We have the bags printed. Hi, buddy. Put your head in and say hello.
Yeah, the bags are all printed. It's all ready to go. We're just waiting for the one ingredient.
Hi, look at his cute teeth. Smile with your braces.
Wow,
I forgot to
there's
eat an
thunder
appointment.
out there.
And lightning.
Yep.
Max is 13.
I saw 4.
Okay, so we already covered. You have to use Keto Chow for all your meals?
Nope.
No.
Can you? Yes.
Yep.
I used it.
You can if you really want to. It's designed for that. If you
You're
got
crazy like Blaine. Chris.
oral surgery and you can't
Yeah,
eat anything for a month,
And that's what's so cool, because you can. I had a crown last week. See, I'm just regretting all this non-keto life, because I have had to get 3 crowns in the last few years, and I have never had to get a root canal though. Can I just tell you that? My teeth weren't that ruined, but it's all from sugar, from past eating of sugar, and my teeth are so great now. But I had to get that crown because I had a cavity that they've been watching for years, and my mouth has been just hurting for a week, and it's so nice to be able to have Keto Chow.
that's right.
So,
Now,
sorry, that was a long sentence.
no, that is absolutely fine.
We should go to the next one. Okay. Deborah on the Keto Chow Facebook support page asked if we should measure net carbs or total carbs. So that's also something that you will want to decide for yourself. We do net carbs, but I think if you really want to lose weight, doing total carbs is going to be way better for you.
So we, like I said earlier, I just finished posting all of the different, all of the different...
Oh, the flavors?
No. The different recordings from Keto Salt Lake.
Sorry. Yes.
And one of them was Nurse Cindy.
Yes.
And her presentation, I just posted the link.
She's so amazing.
In her presentation, she talked about how net carbs is like over-the-counter.
Prescription.
And total carbs is like prescription strength. Yeah. So if you're stalling out, and her entire talk
was about how to break a stall.
Yeah, how to break a stall, how to get through it. And so if you are cruising along doing net carbs,
great.
If maybe you're diabetic or you're having problems with stalling out, try total carbs instead. Because with net carbs, you tend to let things sneak in like maltitol from the Russell Stover sugar-free candy.
Don't eat those, by the way. We're just going to teach you right now.
No, Russell Stover sugar-free candy.
All sugar-free candy is not sugar-free.
Well, not all of it. There is some that's legit. Lily's chocolate bars, those are actually pretty good.
But you still can't eat a lot of it.
No, you still can't eat a lot of them. And that's why a lot of times going with total carbohydrates is the better way to go. Or rather going for total carbohydrates maybe minus fiber if it's something like acacia gum. Because a lot of times companies will sneak basically a sugar in as a fiber. There are some things that show up as a fiber that's actually
And really, you just have to learn what words mean what thing.
Yeah.
Because it's hard. And the more words, the more likely it's going to have something weird in it. And I know ours has a lot of words. So that's what I'm saying. Google it if you don't know what it is.
Yep.
See if it's anything that's good for you. So it's never going to hurt to just look up a couple things.
Yep. So that was Deborah's question.
Yes, Trina said she made Snickerdoodle from her starter bundle and was full for 2 hours, but then she was really hungry. And so a lot of people, commented on it. We were wondering how much fat she used, if she didn't use enough fat, or if she was just starting keto. Because when you first start keto, it's such a drastic change. You're going to be missing those carbs and going through carb withdrawal, possibly having the keto flu and
What's keto flu?
electrolyte deficiency.
There you go. Not enough salt.
So yes, so have some salt, chicken broth, pickled juice. We
If you
have
like it.
an electrolyte supplement that we really love. That's
Yeah. It's
called
good.
electrolyte drops.
Yeah.
Anyway, so you should check those out too. But yeah, if you feel dizzy or nauseous,
Nauseated.
if you nauseate me, I almost said it right.
I know, that's okay. I was distracting you. I'm sorry.
Then just have some salt and water, or chicken broth, pickle juice,
Yep. Number 1 rule of keto: put salt on everything.
everything.
Number 2 rule on keto: put salt on everything.
And why are you not having enough salt? Because your kidneys are not
Okay.
holding it in? Okay.
So here, I need
Here's
to
a
teach.
smart
I need
version.
to teach Steve this because he hasn't learned it yet. He does some of our customer service. When your insulin is high, it tells your kidneys to hold
on.
on to salt. So I didn't know this until I heard there's a
Oh,
podcast.
it's really raining.
Yeah, it's really raining.
Can you guys hear?
There was a podcast about Dr. James DiNicolantonio.
Ooh,
It
yeah.
was called The Salt Fix. He wrote a book called Salt Fix. Anyway, in it, and he explained this in one of the podcasts I was listening to, your kidneys, when they're filtering stuff out, what they do is they take all of the sodium and potassium and stuff out. And then they have to push it back in. It is very energy inefficient. It uses up a lot of energy. And so the conventional wisdom is that having too much salt is hard on your kidneys. Turns out it's the exact opposite. Having too much salt, it tells your kidneys that they don't have to push salt back in. They're like, oh, I can just leave this out. Okay, that's great. Well, insulin tells your kidneys to push more salt back in. You're holding on to more salt. Well, when you're getting a phone call.
I'm getting a phone call.
And by the way, that is.
Hello. Good. How are you?
Anyway, when that is rain that's falling right now. But when your insulin starts to come down because you're on a ketogenic diet,
It's raining.
it tells
It's
your
raining like
kidneys
crazy outside.
they don't have to hold on to that salt anymore. They can let it go. And on top of that,
I
you're
can
burning
hear it
what's
out
called
the door.
glycogen. Glycogen is water
like
plus
coming down
glucose. And when you're burning the glycogen, it's flushing water
doesn't
out
know
of your
glycol.
system. And so that also gets rid of some of the salt. So you tend to flush salt a lot. That's why salt
Okay.
is so important when you're starting a ketogenic
Thanks.
diet.
Bye.
So to get back to Tina's question,
Sorry.
yeah, when you're first starting, you should don't worry about calories. Maybe have a little bit extra. And if you're hungry after eating a keto chow, you probably didn't have enough fat in it. Is the most likely excuse. I can pound down a keto chow in 10-15 minutes. Miriam, it takes her like.
It takes me a little longer. I mean, if I'm really hungry, then I can drink it fast.
Yeah.
But if I drink it slower, then I stay full longer too. And also, I think a lot of eating is so mental. And if you're not, constantly snacking, if you're been used to doing this a long time, you're gonna feel like you're hungry, but you're not actually hungry. Like, listen to your stomach. Are you really hungry?
Or are you thirsty?
Are you thirsty?
I get that a lot.
Are you bored? Are you upset? Like, there's a lot of reasons why you just put stuff in your face. Did you happen to walk by some food?
Ooh.
Did you go to your kitchen? Do you snack in between breaks? Do you get away from your desk because you want to get away from your desk and it happens to be next to the snack counter?
Yep.
So, and there's a lot of reasons why that you may feel like you're hungry, but you're not actually hungry.
Yep.
So
Oh.
sorry about that, by
Nope.
the way. I care about my children enough to interrupt the live to tell my 17-year-old daughter she should not be walking home in the rain.
Oh yeah, because it's really
It's
rain.
really
So that
rain.
wasn't Christy, that was Audrey or Haley?
No, it was Christy.
Oh,
She just wanted to tell me she was gonna walk home, and I'm like, nah.
Christy's walking home?
No, Haley.
So it was Haley.
Christy was giving her a ride, but she wanted to know if it was okay with me if Haley just walked home. And I'm like, normally, yeah, I don't care if she walks home, but it's like really raining up there. Okay, distracted.
Yeah.
Let's get in and do our next thing.
Well, let's see. Well, we're coming up on an hour now.
So we're just about done.
Let's see. Someone who hadn't tried raspberry cheesecake, they tried it.
And they loved it. They said that they didn't want to because they didn't really like cheesecake or raspberries or, so they so they left it in there. But then they ran out of Keto Chow and they wanted to have some more before their shipment got here, and they tried it and they loved it. So you might be surprised what you like and what you don't like. A lot of people are so afraid of the chicken soup, and then they try it and they like it.
Well, it's because the number one thing about the chicken soup is they think, like all the other ones, you mix it up cold.
It's cold. So
and
yeah.
It's not.
What are our personal favorites? Tony just asked. Chocolate mint,
chocolate peanut butter,
chocolate toffee made with butter,
root beer. Oh, chocolate toffee with butter.
So good. Yes.
So good.
Pretty much anything chocolate is good.
And the chocolate heated up in the microwave with a mug in the winter.
Oh yeah.
It's not winter anymore, but that's still good.
So good.
So
raspberry cheesecake, I like.
Yeah. Now here's another fun thing. You can get the vanilla.
Yeah, and you can make
add
it
stuff to it
any way you want to, and then you wouldn't have to buy as many. Like a lot of people say, it's really expensive. It's only like $3 a shake if you buy the
big bag.
The big bag, and if you think about going to McDonald's.
Well, and Blaine likes to point out, people will pop in and say, "Oh, this is so expensive." Well, yeah, if you're comparing it to a protein shake.
Yeah.
If you're comparing it to a meal, it's pretty cheap.
You go out to dinner, you're spending $50, right?
So we put a different flavor on sale every week. Right now, it just happens to be chocolate toffee,
so
which is the one that's so good with butter.
So good.
Next week, it'll be something else. People ask all the time, "What's going to be on sale next week?" I don't know. We figure that out Monday morning. If you get the stuff that's on sale,
here they come.
You get enough of it so that you can get free shipping and all that other stuff. You can get it around like $275, $280 a meal, which that's not rice and beans cheap. She hates thunder.
They come through the rain.
You guys all wet?
Don't get wet on my floor.
Anyway.
Oh, sorry.
So let's see. Okay.
My hair's not even wet.
Fine. What flavors are the best? So this kind of goes in with it. Just before we started the Facebook Live.
Don't put your hat on. Say hi to the people.
Either in or out.
Hi to the people.
Just before we started the Facebook Live, I made a pie graph of what flavors are most popular with Keto Chow.
There you go.
Because I figured this question would come up. And so I did a pie graph just like this back in January, showing the previous whatever months. Well, times change, buying trends change, the flavors that people are drinking because wow, that's a lot of
lightning.
Wow. Don't be surprised if we get cut off because the power goes out. Anyhow, what was I going at?
Tony said next.
Well, things like eggnog. People aren't buying as much eggnog now that it's not Christmas time
Weird.
anymore. I know, right? But last time I ran the numbers. The number one flavor was chocolate. It's still chocolate.
It's because chocolate's so good.
20% of our week bag sales, so that's the 21 meal, the big bag. 20% of all the ones we sell are chocolate. 12% is chocolate peanut butter, which is ironic because we don't even have a sample of chocolate peanut butter. We haven't had a sample of
big bag.
we haven't had a sample of chocolate peanut butter in like a year and a half.
Yeah, it's pretty pathetic actually.
And it's because the peanut flour, it has more fat in it and it clogs the machine.
Yeah.
If you've ever had a glass of water with ice in it and you go to drink it and it's just kind of the ice is just sitting there, and then it all hits you in the
It
face.
falls in your face.
That's what the chocolate peanut butter does in the machine. So, anyway, so number 2 is chocolate peanut butter. Number 3 is vanilla. And it's kind of funny. Right now, the worst selling flavors are eggnog and pumpkin spice, which kind of makes sense. And it's funny, chocolate chicken soup's really low.
That's because it's getting summertime.
Yeah. And Blaine wants to know, why are you rolling out more savory flavors? And it's I think the chicken soup is an outlier right now. People aren't.
They're not thinking about soup.
Yeah. And when we have ones that sound more like this is just, it's dairy free, it's sweetener free. You use this to make soup and stuff.
There's a foot.
There is a foot. I think they'll sell well. And for that matter, I guess we haven't, no, we're not going to, Anyway, so. No, we're doing this. We're almost done. So let's see. We already talked about Keto Chow lasts up to 6 days in the fridge with heavy cream, even longer if you use avocado oil or butter. Along with the what fat is best to use, somebody added, we'll get to you in just a second, Nancy. Somebody asked, what's the best heavy cream to use that doesn't have carrageenan or other stuff in it? And it's kind of funny, Blaine and I both popped in at almost the same time and said butter.
Butter.
If the right butter only has 1 or 2 ingredients. If it's salted butter, it has cream and salt. If it's unsalted butter, the only ingredient should be cream. There shouldn't be coloring. There shouldn't be flavorings. There shouldn't be stabilizers. It should just be cream and or cream and salt. That's it. Nothing else. Which is the coolest thing about using butter is that it doesn't have any of that stuff in it. Personally, I don't care about carrageenan. It doesn't have any effect on me. But some people, it's a big deal. Now, Nancy wanted to know about, maybe that was an earlier.
Blueberries.
Yeah, that might have been a phantom one from before. We just didn't see it before. Sorry, Nancy. So she wanted to take the vanilla and put some blueberries in it. Emphasis on the some, by the way.
A few.
If you put a lot in there, it's going to have problems.
They have quite a few carbs. It's like
but like 2 or 3 blueberries, in banana. 2 or 3 blueberries in vanilla in a blender.
Yummy. Yeah.
It'll add a ton of flavor, and it's just fantastic. Yep. So
raspberries, strawberries. Don't do a whole bunch because you really don't need a whole bunch.
Yep. And James Cosman is asking the question that all new parents love to hear. When are you going to have your next kid?
Now.
He's asking when's the next commercial going to come out. Seriously? We're still
raise this
starting
one.
the first one. Jeez, James, this is why we can't have nice things. I don't even know why we talk to you.
Hey, we're gonna go. Our kids are coming.
Yeah.
Home. It's raining.
Now, really quickly, Jennifer asked how much butter you use. The amount for you.
Look on the custom calorie calculator. Did you post that?
It's been posted earlier, but so if you go to How to Prepare Keto Chow, there's a big blue button. There is a checkbox for butter. If you check that box, it allows you to calculate how much butter to use. Me personally, I'm super lazy with measuring, and half of the shakes that I make are stolen by my kids. So I'm doing a half a stick of butter in each one. It's easy to measure. When I was doing my 100 days of Keto Chow, I was doing 200 grams of Keto Chow in 3 shakes. So 66 grams per shake? You had to use a scale. Right now I'm doing it the simple way. I'm doing a cube and a half, splitting it between 3 shakes. So, and Blaine said however much you need for your daily calories. And Sabrina also said she's tried almost all the flavors and hasn't disliked any of them. And that's the thing. Different people like different stuff. You may absolutely love the raspberry cheesecake. You may try the root beer and go, that's gross. Or you may not like root beer and you're like, oh, that's fantastic. And a lot of people don't think they're gonna like the banana and end up liking it a lot. Tony asks,
there is
is there
a video.
Is there a video mixing it up with butter? If I can spell butter.
Yeah,
B-U-T-T-E-R. Here we go, copy that.
Yep, here you go. We'll give it right to you right there.
There you go. It shows how to mix it with butter, which is the same way you mix it up with coconut oil.
Sticking up there.
Yeah, melt it.
Yep. And the banana is awesome. I think it tastes like banana cream pie.
Okay,
So,
everybody have a nice day.
yep. Thank you all for joining us.
Thanks for coming.
Like I said, yeah.
My name's
there you
Miriam,
go.
by the way, and this
Oh,
is
yeah.
Chris, in case anybody's new.
In case you're new. Yes, we're the ones that run it. Here we
That's
are in our
Ruth.
house.
It's her daughter.
So,
I'm on the sofa.
anyway, let me get out my
Yeah,
keyboard
yeah.
here.
Throw it
I'm going to
everywhere.
drop it. And yeah, see you all
Bye.
next week,
Bye.
next Tuesday.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Oh, I have to hit a yes.
Oh, yes, goodbye. Goodbye.
Hold
Goodbye.
on a second.
Goodbye.
And gone.
What's the worst part of doing keto? The meal prep. Come in, children. Wow. Don't worry, they're free range. Your body has two options when it comes to burning energy: sugar or fat. And Michelle Obama hates both of them. Keto is a high-fat, ultra-low-carb diet designed to get your body burning its own fat instead of burning sugar. It's not witchcraft, it's science. But it is as exhausting as it sounds, especially when you live in a house made of sugar and carbs. To prep new keto meals, you have to find a recipe, fly to the store, not find everything, fly home, order more ingredients online, wait for the ingredients to arrive, cook your meal, take one bite, immediately throw it into the garbage. Congratulations, you just spent 1 week making food you hate. What you really need is a quick, customizable, and easy keto meal replacement for when your other food options aren't ready. Introducing Keto Chow. It's the fully customizable meal replacement that makes keto easy. It doesn't matter if you're a wee witch or a noble knight.
Oh, hello!
Keto Chow makes it easy to get the right nutrition.
Oh, thank you.
Before Keto Chow, I never used to get attention from nights like this.
It's delicious!
I have no interest in him. It's just nice to be wanted. That's an old picture. With the flick of a wand, Keto Chow takes just seconds to prepare. Simply add the fat of your choice. Oh, not you, Hansel. Add the fat of your choice, a scoop of Keto Chow, water, and shake. And one serving of Keto Chow has as low as a half gram of net carbs and gives you a third of your daily nutrients, including electrolytes, vitamins, protein, and more. Meaning you don't have to weigh, measure, and track food intake like a crazy person. So if you feel like keto's been a curse but want magical results, click the link to order your Keto Chow sampler pack today. We'll even throw in free shipping and a free blender bottle. And if you don't absolutely love it, we'll get ya a full refund. If you're thinking to yourself, which please, this can't be real, it is. Just trust the thousands of 5-star reviews on Facebook, Amazon, and Google Shopping. Like this one. As someone who is not willing to weigh, measure, and track food intake, Keto Chow helped me reach my goals effortlessly and was keto losing 50 pounds in 4 months. Beverly J. And check out all these other satisfied customers. Do you have to have Keto Chow for every meal? No, I can still have all the other keto foods I love, like eggs, bacon, sausage, steak, gretel, cheese. So many, in fact, it's hard to keep track of them all. Where's your brother?
He's in the water closet.
I hope he's not eating the toilet. Just use Keto Chow when you want an easy meal you don't have to think about, like when you're out and about.
Look! Get her!
Or when you're on the run. Keto Chow comes in 18 delicious flavors. And in a third-party blind taste test with 5 of the leading keto shakes, Keto Chow outperformed all of the competitors in appearance, flavor, texture, and overall impression.
It's a buy.
Oh, a little this way. A little more. Oh, close enough. It's even more delicious than the revenge body you get from using it. You hear that, wizard?
Dang, she looks hot. You fool!
So order your Keto Chow today and replace meal prep night with something way more fun. Not him.
Can we burn this witch?
How do you know she's actually a witch?
Well, she's trying to eat our children.
Well, look, it looks like her.
Well, this looks nothing like her.
They say a drawing adds 10 pounds.
Hey. Head over to ketochow.xyz to order your Keto Chow today.